ELB.
What up, world? It's your boy Chuck Wick, aka Charles Brown, back again with another review. But first, I want to ask, are you good? Good. All right, man. Your boy Royce Dub 59 done released what some consider to be a classic, Allegory, and that's the review we're doing today. Your boy Royce the 59, man. Yo, listen. Why it seem like we've been listening? Why it seem like we've been hearing about Royce the 59 for like 50 years? Like it feel like I done seen Royce the 59 as long as I've seen KRS-One, or like as long as I've seen Mobb Deep or somebody like that. But you got like Royce, really, like when we really start first hearing about Royce, I think around the same time we started hearing about Eminem. And that's like what? Late 90s? Late 90s for Eminem, something like that. So, but it feels like for late 90s is a long time ago, be honest with you. If we're talking 98, 99, you're talking 20 years ago. So, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But I say all that to say this. Royce the 59, we've seen Royce go through like 7, 8 different phases of life, just life in general, not even of a rapper, just life in general. Royce, we done seen Royce be the rookie. We done seen him be the up and coming. We done seen him be the next up, and this is the next guy, this is the guy. Then we done seen him become the villain. Like I remember seeing Royce in the back of that truck on Beef, talking about D12. This dude looked like the villain of hip hop. You know what I'm saying? He looked like one of them dudes on WWE. What's the big mountain dude and his brother? Like them dudes, like he looked like, I'm the hip hop villain. I'm gonna shoot anybody. I'm gonna kill anyone. He ain't kill. He had nothing good to say about nobody. He just seemed mad, angry, just in a space, bro. It seemed like he was I was like, dang, this dude like in a real ill place right now. Like, dude really not happy right now. Dude really not happy. So I say all that to say this. We've been watching Royce go through phases. And he has reinvented himself time and time again. To the Royce that we got right now, this is everything culminated into a final form. Do you understand what like if you watch Dragon Ball and they have to get to a Super Saiyan, or they have to get to a final form, but it take a long time to get there. It doesn't just come overnight. This is what it feels like with Royce. I mean, we watched this dude literally beef with all of his friends, like all of them, every single one of them basically, and come to the point they pulling out guns on each other, to the point where they making up, to the point where they're recording again. You know what I'm saying? And now him and Eminem, at one point, him and Eminem wasn't rocking. And it looked like Royce was out. He was done. His career was over. And we had seen the last of Royce. That's what it felt like. Lo and behold, he kept grinding and he kept coming out with stuff, and he started to make a name on his own. And I think that's when he was able to reconcile for real with him. Because if you crawl back to him with your hat in your hand, it's going to be like a dysfunctional relationship. It's going to be a little disjointed. You know what I'm saying? So I think he started to make a little noise on his own. People started to recognize him for his own skills and what he could do on his own. Not that if he folded and then came back with Eminem, then it'll be a problem. You know what I'm saying? But he didn't fold. He kept grinding, which is what you have to do if you're a real MC. Nothing's going to stop you. Royce's career, by all accounts, should have been squashed. It should have been completely done, and it wasn't. Dude grinded and grinded through all the D12 beef, all the Eminem beef, and then next thing you know, it's bad meets evil and all this other stuff. And then next thing you know, Royce has mastered this craft. He stopped drinking and started being a proponent of rehab and self-cleansing. Even started talking about eating right. That's a whole 180 from the guy we saw coming in the game that was like, shoot him up, bang, bang, pow, pow. Even though he had bars. This guy was like, he was always ready. I believe in the beef video, I think he had the gun on his lap, riding around. It's a different animal you was dealing with back then. But I say all that to say this. What we have now is a grown man. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gotta say pause. Is a grown man. Just point blank. And we've seen this guy, I've seen this guy become one of the most gracious forces in hip hop. I mean, I met the dude. Like I always say, I was a promoter. I did a lot of promotion. And I booked Slaughterhouse. I booked Royce through Keno and some other people. And we did a little tour around New England. And it is what it is. Royce was the most humble dude. Even when it looked crazy out here, he was always humble, always willing to, he was there first. He's shaking hands, smiling, happy. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, he's a very witty guy. He can be sarcastic or whatever, but this guy is intelligent. And he's very, very humble. And when you combine that with a person who wants to get better in their craft, and they get respect from the people in the craft like Primo and KRS-One, different people in the game, and you're rocking with them, and them one of the most highly coveted, highly controversial MCs to ever do rap and ever, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna have a lot to deal with, a lot to live up to. So, Royce the 5 Dime. I'm gonna be honest with you. So I fancy myself a lyricist guy. I wrote a lot of lyrics. We did a lot of music back in the day. It's still out there. Mud Kids, MUDKIES, all that good stuff. And I fancy myself a lyricist. And what we did not really like was to be in one lane. And in the beginning, I felt like Royce was in one lane. You know what I'm saying? Gun bars, gun talk, da-da-da. And we like that too. We like everything. But it raises your tier when you can step out of that lane. Now, you have certain MCs that's gun talk. Noriega. You got Prodigy, Havoc, Fabulous to a degree. But Fabulous is, he can go switch lanes. But there's certain people that stay in that lane, like 50 Cent. Just, they stay in that lane that I'm in the hood, I'm from the streets, I'm gonna buck you down. They stay there. You know what I'm saying? And for a while, I put Royce in that lane. Yes, he had bars, but I didn't put him in the lane of an elite MC for quite some time. You know what I'm saying? Like an elite MC is like I want to say a Razzcast, Chino XL, most of the hieroglyphics, Souls of Mischief, Dale the Funky Homo Sapien, Ice Cube to a degree. Like if you really pay attention to Ice Cube, I want to say Chuck D, but Chuck D is, Chuck D does what Chuck D does. But you get the point. When I say lyricist, a Q-Tip, Trugoy, plug 1, plug 2, De La, all that, just that type of lane where it's more about the visual wordplay as opposed to the high testosterone, aggression-filled, MOP type of music. And I lumped Royce right there with all that overly aggressive, super high testosterone music that, yes, is dope for what it is, but lyrically, you're not going to get much out of it than exactly what you expect. It's not going to go too far left or right. It's not going to go out of a lane that you didn't see coming. It's going to be all what it is. Like Common's going to take you on all different journeys. He's going to get in that testosterone lane, then he's going to come out and get in that metaphysical lane, and it's going to be a combination of all kinds of styles. And I say all that to say this. I thought Royce in the beginning of his career was not versatile enough. right? That's where I'm going with all that I just said. I felt like Royce was not a versatile MC. Not that I didn't like him, it just wasn't a versatile MC. And for me, if you're not versatile, in my opinion, your music has a short shelf life. The value of it is short. You know what I'm saying? Like, take like an Obi Trice. How much Obi Trice you bumping? Like, somebody would be like, oh man, that first Obi Trice, yeah, that's just classic. Like, I hear that. Some people say Obi Trice first joint is a classic. I can't call it a classic. I didn't even hear the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? And I don't feel like I missed out on anything. No disrespect to Obi Trice, but I don't feel like I missed a level of hip hop that without having it in my system, I fall short of the Holy Grail. I don't think so. So I'm saying all that to say, where would we go? Where am I going with Royce that Q-Tip can't take me? You understand? So what I felt as time went on, Royce seemed to progress into a much more versatile to the Royce we have right now. I think his life experiences, that's what it is. Some people learn from their life experiences, some people don't. Like, you're looking at DMX. I can't say that for sure that DMX learned anything from his life experiences, to be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? It feels like Royce learned a lot from his life experiences. It feels like he went down roads that were super dark with the drinking and the different medical issues or what have you, or whatever, the beefs that felt like you could get smoked any minute. When you're beefing, it's a dark place. Believe it or not, if you've ever really been in beef and you got dudes that might want to creep on you in the dark and they saying they're going to do this and that when they see you, that's a dark place to be. That ain't good. That don't feel good. So if he's in that half the time and then he's drinking and trying to stay in his business, which is shady as hell, all of that weighs on your head. That weighs heavy on your head. So I think this dude, honestly, for him to have passed all of that and to get to where we are, which is Allegory, which I feel personally, I'm going to say it early in the game, this is a classic album. Right? I know I'm late on this review, but I'm late because I wanted to do this one right. I wanted to hear this album again and again. I wanted to make sure I'm not calling it a classic, and it's not. I know a lot of people will bite off their left arm to not say the word classic. I'm not that guy. I don't feel like I've called anything a classic that wasn't a classic. You can take it or leave it. I don't feel like I've called anything a classic that was not a classic. Just personal opinion. I call 444 a classic. I call Damn a classic. I feel like they're classics. You know what I'm saying? I called the Tribe Called Quest, the last Tribe Called Quest, We Got It From Here. Thank you for your service. I called it a classic. I'll debate anybody. Right? So there's a lot of people scared to say classic because they feel like they're going to get ridiculed. Right? If you go online and you say something classic the first night it come out, you get mobbed, you get mad ats telling you don't know what you're talking about. How you going to call it a classic? You just heard it. At my age, bro, I can tell you what sound like a classic before I even finish it. You know what I'm saying? And you know what a classic supposed to sound like. Right? If you're honest with yourself, you know what you feel is a classic. Right? If you feel Skyzoo dropped a classic to you, that's a classic. And if enough people agree with you, then it is a classic. If I say Stillmatic is a classic, right? You're going to have a high percentage of people that agree with me. And you're going to have people that will say it is a classic just so they won't get ridiculed. Even if they don't believe it's a classic. Even if they don't like it. You'll rarely hear a person come out their face saying they don't like Illmatic. You know why? Because then they're going to get challenged about everything they do like. They're going to get challenged like, what do you know about hip-hop if you don't like Illmatic? We can't take your word for it. We can't. Your word at this point means nothing to anyone because you don't like Illmatic. At that point, you're not a hip-hop head. You ain't entitled to your opinion. And a lot of dudes scared to say their opinion. I'm not one of them dudes. every now and then I'll hesitate to be like, you know what, I'm gonna hold off judgment on that. Kanye just dropped Yay or something. I'm gonna hold off judgment. I'm gonna listen to it again before I come out and say it's garbage. Or Kendrick just dropped insert name. I'm gonna hold off before I say it's a classic. Like J. Cole, I said some of his stuff is classic. Even, and I'll be the first to tell you, I don't even need to have to replay it to know what a good album is. It ain't gotta have replay value to me. I know what a good album sounds like, in my opinion. So I'm telling you from my opinion, and we can have a whole debate. Allegory to me is a classic. I'm going to explain myself in a minute. Why this album is a classic. Why Royce came from a knucklehead in the streets of Detroit to probably one of the top 5 lyricists. This guy has moved. He's moved the needle. Top five. Dylon. Right? This guy has moved the needle into another space and time that I would have never put Royce in my top. Royce probably wouldn't have been in my top 50, to be honest with you. A couple years ago, Royce was not in my top 50, and I wasn't one of these Slaughterhouse stans that was like, oh my God, Slaughterhouse, like, oh my God, like, if they ever drop it out, like before they dropped an album, it was like bedlam if they ever was to drop an album. I wasn't one of them people, right? Because I heard a lot of lyrics, the Alcoholics, Beat Nuts. I heard a lot of stuff, bro. I heard a lot of music. Like, when you live this, when you live hip hop, and that's all you do, all day, you get up in the morning, you click on hip hop, you go to sleep, you cut off hip hop, Outkast, LL Cool J, good, bad, and ugly, all that. That's all I do. So you're not going to impress me real easy, right? So Royce was not in my top 50 at one point. It would have been hard. I would have been, if someone would remind me, yeah, oh yeah, Royce. But as things progress, and as I started to take more notice of Royce, it started to become undeniable. This guy is nasty. Like, some of this stuff is going over your head because you're thinking it's basic and it's face value. But this is some other stuff. This is what he's doing with some of these metaphors and some of these double entendres and some of this Afrocentric knowledge and wisdom that he's bestowing on you. He's putting another level to this that only the masters are capable of doing. A la a Kendrick, a J. Cole, a la a KRS, a la a Jay-Z. And I guarantee if Biggie was alive, by this point, Biggie would be in another, Biggie and Pac alive right now. Can you imagine what they would be saying right now? Can you just imagine all the stuff they would have seen by now? So, I say all that to say, let me see something. I say all that to say that Royce has grown as an MC to me. I feel like he has not only become a better rapper, he's a producer now. How many MCs can go from rapping to producing and make it sound decent? A lot of people say J. Cole production is very, I'm trying to be nice, but they say it's boring. You know what I'm saying? But he's one of these guys. He like me. All I wanted to do, I produced and I rapped over my own stuff. And sometimes you can't reach your potential when you producing it and then rapping to it too. Sometimes that take way too much. You know what I'm saying? I think that's why Dre taking so long with the stuff he's doing, because it's too much. So then by the time you finish it, you look back at it, you're like, it ain't as good as I want it to be. You know what I'm saying? So with Royce being able to, because he produced this whole album is what I'm trying to say. From what I understand, that's what I believe he said. He produced the whole album. It looked like in the credits. I don't see no other producers, but I could be wrong. But it looked like he produced the whole album. He said he asked Primo, got him on the phone for a couple hours, teaching him, I believe it was it the MPC? Something. One of these machines. And first of all, shouts out to Primo, man, because who does that? First of all, the average producer these days, he gonna be worrying about you taking food out of his mouth. So he ain't gonna want to sit on the phone with you for 2-3 hours teaching you nothing. He'll be like, man, just take one of these beats. I got the beat for you already. Like, damn, it's not that. Primo's old school, man. Primo is a good-hearted individual. Primo gonna eat regardless, whether you making 40 beats or not. So he gonna teach you. He wants you to be a better man. So he taught Royce how to do these beats. And Royce not only soaked up how to do the beats, he already had an innate ability, because you can't just, I know mad people who figured out equipment and still make trash beats. You saw the Cassidy video. Now, I don't know if the Cassidy video is real. I don't know if that's really the beat that he's bobbing to, and I believe it is. Cassidy made a beat, and there's a clip of him rocking to the beat, and it sounds like a Fisher Price special. It sounds garbage. Complete trash. But he's vibing out. Yeah. And I'm like, no, that's not that. So, just because you got the equipment or what have you, don't mean you're going to make a good beat. But Royce is not only making good beats, he's making excellent beats. He's making high-level beats. He's doing breaks and bridges. He's skeletoning them out. Like, this guy is doing some amazing stuff that most MCs don't do. Right? And for him to be up in age, I swear the older guys are the best guys, bro. You can say what you want. Nobody's hearing that shit no more as far as, oh, these old heads, you still rapping. Yes, because we better than you. That's why. And the older guys, late 30s, 40s, they're doing better music. It just is what it is. They're doing better music. You better hope these youngins don't take this game over. This would be over. Complete trash. These guys throwing out trash. 45 minutes. The song is mixed, done, and on the internet. 45 minutes. Beat, raps, ad-libs, the hook, mixed down, shot a video, everything. They throwing this stuff out like it don't mean nothing. And Royce is making quality music. He's making what you need. It has some substance. You can go back and listen to this next year, and it's going to be relevant, right? So, I say all that to say this. For this guy to have come through the violent streets of Detroit, for whatever reason, that's what it is, to get into the rap game, get signed to these different labels, signed to Tommy Boy, and signed to E1, and signed to Shady, and signed to all this stuff that he signed to. For him to be able to advance beyond these obstacles. And y'all got excuse me for the sun. It is what it is. This is what it is. It's getting dark. So I'm gonna try to wrap this up before it get too dark and it look crazy in here. But Royce the 5'9" Allegory. I'm gonna go song for song. I keep saying this, that I'm tired of going song for song when these albums is dumb, like long like this, because this is 22 songs. But I can't short myself or short you by not talking about each song as it pertains to me. That'll be cheating the whole game, because I need to explain why I'm saying what my grade is. Right? So Royce the 5'9", I think I talked enough about Royce. I'm going to get into the album review. And I'm going to try to explain why I feel like this is a classic. And it's very complicated, but at the end of the day, if you understand quality hip-hop, then I don't even got to tell you that this is a classic album. You just already know. Royce the 5'9", Allegory, track 1, Mr. Grace, the intro. It's a father quizzing his kid. I believe this is a internet clip of the father asking the kid questions, and the kid is just rattling off answers. Very, very intelligent. Some of the, I even, when he said, if I give you a present for Christmas and your birthday every year, But then when you graduate college, you got to go sit down and beg somebody for a job. What have I done? And he said, you failed me as a father. Yo, that hit deep, bro. That hit a different kind of way, bro. Right there is telling you this ain't the average. What we about to do ain't average, bro. You know what I'm saying? What we about to do is not average. And it's some other things going on with this. That tells you the level of what we're going to be at with this whole album, right? I don't like how the sun is hitting my face. All right, that's better. So, fix the sun issue. And so basically, I don't feel like I feel like we are being taken into a different zone with this intro. It's telling you it's going to be smart, it's going to be thought provoking, it's going to be introspective, and it's going to go places you probably never thought to go. And that's the makings of a classic. You have to have some level of intelligence. Like when a person tries to say that an album that is full of nonsense is a classic, they sound ridiculous. The album has to make some sense before you can call it a classic. So we started with Mr. Grace. Next track, Dope Man, featuring Cedric the Entertainer and Imani, I believe. It's a smooth summertime sample. You know, the Jazzy Jeff sample, I believe. Who made that first? I believe it may have been Kool and the Gang that made the original song. But he took it and he kind of like toyed with it a little bit and distorted it a little bit. But he played with it enough to make it sound like a different type of, it's a different song. And it has that 80s feel, that dope man, that NWA, that refrain from that, and it just takes you to it's starting it off where it's soulful, it's gritty, it's lo-fi, it feels right, and it's not like anything that's out today. Like it's taking a chance is what I'm trying to say. It's risky, but this is dope. Like you could hear this and be like, what the like, no. It made me want to go deeper because it goes a mad long without any type of vocals, and you're trying to figure out where he's going with it, but you want to wait for it, the payoff. So Dope Man, nice, good vocals to it. I like it. It jumps around, which makes it even more intriguing because then when you go back and listen to it, you'll catch all that little stuff down the line. Track 3, I Don't Age. It's a hard snap snare with a heavy kick, melodic piano and harp strikes, repetitive bass chord. Royce is dropping random bars about other rappers and dope references about dope, just being dope, and basically doing what Royce does, just that it's scatterbrained but mind provoking, all over the place, but it's all relevant to what we're trying to, the feel we're trying to get from this. And when he puts mad street metaphors mixed in with black excellence, and then he'll diss an MC at the same time, like that's everything you're asking for in bars. Like all of that is considered wordplay, and Royce has mastered. I speak about master class and all that. Royce has become a master of this art, and you can see it on this first song, I Don't Age. This third track. So I'm gonna keep it moving. Fourth track, Pendulum, featuring Ashley Sorrell. I believe her name is Ashley Sorrell. I could be saying that right, or I could be saying that wrong. I hope I'm saying it right. She has a beautiful voice. I like her. She seems hood trained. She seems trained by her emotions. It feels like she is doing this from a very street, gritty type of place. Not this. This ain't come from Bel Air. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion, I could be wrong. So Pendulum is a flat snare and kick, muffled guitar strike. Is very RZA, very Wu-Tang. The hook is dope. I like the hook that he gave her. This, I'm assuming Royce wrote that hook. It's more social commentary about social issues and just race and bigotry, just different things Royce is touching in and out on. Just also about being successful, getting money, just everything you need to take your mind on different journeys, because you can't be in one lane. Like I said, Royce is not in one lane. So far we 4 tracks in, none's whack. Let me keep it moving. Number 5, I Play Forever, featuring Graph, who I'm going to admit I slept on Graph. There might be even 2 Graphs. I think there's another Graph too. I think there's another Graph, a rapper named Graph. But if this is the rapper from back in the day that I think it is, I could be wrong, but I think this is the same Graph. I could be wrong. I don't know if this is the Graph that has signed to Dame Dash. I don't know. I know Dame Dash signed, I think he signed a rapper named Graph. But this dude's nasty on here. And this I Play Forever is a lo-fi feel, muddled bass in a horn section. It sounds very 1970 blaxploitation movie. Like I said, Graph gets busy. They both sound hard. Royce goes nuts on here. Got some flutes in it. That lo-fi feel is the exact opposite of what people is saying about your boy, what's my boy name? Jay Electronica's album, because these mixes are good quality mixes and those are not. So I'm going to keep it moving. Number 6, Ice Cream, interlude. Just a little interlude. The kid is asking his mom what allegory means, and she breaks it down like moms do. I thought my mom was the smartest woman in the world. I would ask her something, she would always have the answer, to be honest with you. So his mom breaks it down, and then the ice cream guy pulls up, and he's playing this old racist song that none of us knew was racist until mom breaks it down. But, you know, Royce gets her at the end. It is what it is. Next song, On the Block, featuring Oswin Benjamin and DJ Premier. Classic Primo scratches. He's scratching the vocals. He's taking certain little, the little stuff he does. You know what he does. He'll get 3 or 4 different lines and scratch them. And he did a good job. He's rocking. The beat is smooth, got a West Coast feel, an echoed rim shot, mellow bass line, keyboard driven with an old school style that I think really accents what Royce is trying to do in this album. Because in my opinion, when I say it's a classic, if you don't put all the elements in that album, it no way can be a classic. If you can't touch West Coast, East Coast, South, if you can't touch all of that and make it all flow and fluctuate at the same time, you can't make a classic. It's not going to work. In my opinion, it's just my opinion. I think you need to be able to flow to everything, and you need to be able to talk about everything, and it also need to be cohesive. It can't just be all over the place where one song's jumping all over. It just makes no sense. So I'm going to keep it moving. This is a good album. This is where we're going to be on number 8. Generation is Broken. My handwriting's crazy, so that's what I think it says. Generation is Broken. It's just a 16-second interlude. Nothing to see here. We keep it moving. Number 9, Overcomer, featuring West Side Gun. They got a video and everything for this. Which I would not have... It's perfect once it happens. But I would not have put West Side Gun, Griselda, and Royce, all of them. But once they did it, it sounded perfect. You know what I'm saying? It sounds perfect. It sounds that's meant to be. But I wouldn't have saw that. But he saw it. So it's a repetitive string and a vocal loop. You know, drug talk. If you're going to have Griselda, anybody from that, you're going to get drug talk, block talk. Now, let me just be honest with you. I'm going to be honest with you. This is still a classic album. But this song, this sample, repeating back and over with no beat coming in, and then he finishes his whole verse, then the beat comes in a little bit, and then they go back to Royce. They almost threw me with this song. Because I heard this song before I heard the album. And I was like, I don't know about that. Because I saw the video. I was like, I don't know about that. But when I went back to it, and once you know what you're expecting, and you can hear it again, and you know this is coming, and this is what it is, instead of you're waiting for a beat to drop and all that, and once you can take the song for what it is, then all right, I can let this ride. This song is all right. It's not that bad. You know what I'm saying? This is the only thing that could have took this album down a notch for me. Literally, probably the only song on here that could have took this album down a notch. You know, it's more ghetto Quran talk, more hoods talk, more, you know what I'm saying, smarten up, young and all this, you know, that type of talk, just sunning people. And I dig it. I dig what they say. I'm the first one to tell you, you give me some good hard drug talk, that's as good as some good hard conscious talk to me. If it's real, it's real. If you believe it and you really coming from a good place, I'm going to rock with it. Next track, Miss Grace Interlude. So we have Miss Grace intro at the beginning. Now we got the Miss Grace interlude. It's a skit about a father quizzing his daughter, I believe, about guns, self-respect, independence, just different things that, again, you probably never thought about. And now they're coming to the forefront. You're like, why is this kid learning how to shoot a gun? Why is this kid holding rounds of ammunition? Why it sound like they loading weapons as we're talking to this kid? But in this world, man, you might need to teach these kids how to shoot. We get appalled when we see a kid with a gun on the internet, but you might need to teach these kids how to shoot, man. It's getting crazy out here. With all this nonsense going on, once it get bedlam, ain't no coming back. Once them grocery stores close for good, that's when it's on and popping. If that ever happens. So yeah, he's teaching about guns and this and that. And you can't, is what it is. Teaching about pedophiles and all that. That's what you need to learn, though. All right, next track. Thou Shalt, featuring Kid Vicious. It's a muted bass kick with a wood or rim shot type snare. It's like an underground vibe, mid-tempo, a screeching loop, along with the bass line, a bounce type bass line with a random symphonic strikes throughout, you know, randomly through the song. I like this song. It's dope to me. Kid Vicious, again, I don't think Royce rocks with nobody that can't spit fire. And if you can't body tracks, you're not going to get on a Royce album. So that's the worst thing you can do, is throw a trash rap on here and it'll kill the whole vibe. But that didn't happen. Royce and Kid Vicious go hard on this song, and it keeps the tempo up. It keeps this in that line of, is this what you want? Are you not entertained? Next song, Fubu, featuring Conway. The triple hi-hats over top of an electro beat pattern, a vibrating string and bass licks, undertone of a second drum roll and a flute loop. I said flute loop, yes. Very dark, a hard feel. It's more black excellence and more black talk, but just, you know, it's not just exclusive to black people. It's any race can learn from this, right? So what Royce is talking about, the knowledge in the game he's spitting, it's not exclusive to just because you're black. It's exclusive to human understanding, right? Now, black people need to hear it the most because we got the most dumb shit going on, but you could be a white kid and take from this and learn something from this. This guy is spitting pure knowledge. And that's what I love about this CD, and that's why it's a classic to me, because it's not a bunch of ignorant nonsense talk. Next track. A Black Man's Favorite Shoe. It's just a racist clip. Some dude saying he don't like black people, and what's a black man's favorite shoe is Jordan. Just goofy shit. And we keep it moving. That skit goes on and off. And it's just keeping you in a frame of mind. Don't forget what these motherfuckers think about you. You know what I'm saying? So it's just that type of thing. So then we move on to Upside Down, featuring Ashley Sorrell and Benny the Butcher. It's a heavy melodic bass-driven, airy, with a mystical synth type of thing, in my opinion, going on in the background. It's a quality mixdown. The mixdown is superb on this album. This is like big budget, baby. This is big, homie. Like, the mixdowns are good. Even though they're lo-fi, they're good. Like, he's taking lo-fi samples and making hi-fi quality beats, in my opinion. Flat kick and snare, the vocals, the vocal range, I can't even read what I wrote right there, but the vocals range from white people using the N-word to ownership of things and just live instrumentation. A lot of stuff going in the song. It doesn't. Nothing's ruined. I don't think that we lost anything in the interim. I feel like we have a lot to digest so far. That was, what's that, 14? So now I'm on track 15. Like I said, it's 22 tracks, and that's a lot of tracks to be trying to break down. So I'm doing what I can. But like I said, this is a quality album. Next song. If you don't agree with some of these, just let me know. I don't mind. Next song, Perspective, which is a skit with Eminem. He's speaking on the expansiveness of hip hop, of how it's bringing people together, how it brought these races together, and a lot of stuff we used to fight about don't mean anything anymore because we all doing this in the name of hip hop. But he also talks about how white people, white culture stole straight from black culture and used it, such as Elvis and Rolling Stones and people like that, and himself, and became rich. And meanwhile, black people had to sit back and eat it and watch these white kids become rich off stuff they doing every day in the hood. So it's just about the irony of that. And which I respect Eminem for that, because Eminem has been eating off this for a long time, and for him to acknowledge, he could be on some Kid Rock, like Kid Rock is an asshole, in my opinion. He could be on some I don't look back type shit. He got a Confederate flag, like, fuck y'all. You know what I'm saying? But Eminem ain't doing that. Next song, Tricked, featuring King Crooked, or Crooked Eye. It's a bottom heavy bass kick and snappy echoey snare with a repetitive vocal loop over a futuristic synth pattern. Royce and Crooked, they trade verses about the various ways people have tricked and confused us. Just people in general, no color. Some of it's about color, some of it's not. Some of it's about how they trick you to go into jail, how they trick you to buy this and to try to live up to that. It's just all about pulling the mask off. The government, people lying to you, just knowledge, wisdom, understanding. Next song, Black People in America, which is a skit. Again, it's more exposing of lies. What would happen if blacks went back to Africa, that type of thing. It would be bedlam, because as much as they don't want to admit it, we do a lot here. We make a lot of stuff possible here. We bring a lot of riches here, and we build a lot of stuff here. And if you send us all back to this, go back to Africa, this place would be, you would be begging us to come back, because this place wouldn't be worth it. With all that being said, I'm going to keep it moving. Black Savage, featuring Cy Ari the Kid, White Gold, Sci-Hi the Prince, and T.I. I believe I said all of those names right. It's an up-tempo, celebratory black anthem feel. In my opinion, stadium status. It's a buzzsaw synth driven over a loud rock drum type pattern. Has pianos, has keys, it's electric driven, like the beat pattern. Just fight music, in my opinion. Afrocentric messaging, power rap. Everybody comes off on here, including T.I. He's been on his Black Power lately, and he did not disappoint. Song is dope. I don't have any problems with this song at all. Next track, Rhinestone Do-Rag, which is a short 1 minute and 19-second song. Is one verse, melodic soul sample loop backed up with like a singer, some type of singer vocals looped into the sample or what have you. I believe it's a sample. He could have played this for all I know, but to me it's a sample. And it's just one verse, and at the end he's telling you about the rhinestone do-rag that he put on at one point, which I do believe when Royce rocked that rhinestone do-rag, it was you could take that picture and say buffoonery and put it in a dictionary and put him in there, and that was what that was. It looked ridiculous, and it lost a lot of respect. Because at the time, though, people was doing nonsense anyway. Like, they was weighing the nonsense, and I don't think he was the only one that had that. I think like Ja Rule and corny people, you know what I'm saying? Just people that people considered corny was doing nonsense like that. And he did it. His label made him do it, and he did it. He said, I wore that so you don't have to. And we don't have to. Next song, Young World, featuring Vince Staples, G Perico, or G Perico. It's either G Perico or G Perico. I'm gonna let you tell me. It starts with a plucky, soulful guitar pick and bass sound. Very cool 70s Metropolis feel. Hard snare and kick. They took some of Hove and put him on the hook. Hey, young world, like that. He's this little Slick Rick line that he took and said it, and it's just several other snippets on it. This hands down, and I'm gonna be honest, I heard quite a few Vince Staples verses. I've heard of quite a few Vince Staples albums. This verse could literally be the best verse this guy has ever spit in his life. This is a fire verse, right? I know the kid had it in him. I know he can spit, but this right here, bro, this is some next level. Pause this, go listen to that verse, and then come back. This dude is nasty on here. This is what I'm talking about. When you can elevate others. It's like Tom Brady coming to your team. You're going to be at practice a little bit early. You're going to be trying to run your routes a little more crisp because you're thinking, oh, this is big time right now. You're going to try to ball. You know what I'm saying? And Vince Staples murdered this. Royce does what he does. He references George Zimmerman, among other cultural topics like Trump and Flint, Michigan, water crisis. It is excellence at its best. I believe that was track 20. So now we on a home stretch is 2 more songs, and then I can get out your hair and you can get out my face. All right, track 21. My people free. My people free. As in like let my people free or let us free or whatever. Featuring Ashley Sorrell. It's a bass guitar driven, multi-layered melodies and interchanging beats. Ashley she reinterprets that ring ding dong. I believe that's Sister Sledge. Sledge. Could be the Pointer Sisters, but I believe the Sister Sledge. And she reinterprets that with some other lyrics in there, and it's a nice catchy little hook. This is all fight music. This is all Black Power music, and you don't have to be black to enjoy it. At the end of the song, he does a roll call, shouting out the many relevant black role models and people who deserve to be recognized as doing such, and he did that. People that he felt he wanted to throw in the song. Last but not least, Hero, featuring White Gold, who has a great voice. It's an up-tempo, happy summertime cookout melody type. It's very introspective thoughts on his past and his father's past, in my opinion, along with how he spoke with his dad publicly before speaking to him directly and him regretting that. The whole song sounds like a letter to his pops, and it's a great way to end the album. Like Common used to end albums with his dad talking to him, whatever. His dad ain't talking on here, but he left the best, most personal topic for last. This album is an A+++++++. That means it's an A because I have different levels of A, right? You can be an A+, but that's not a classic. You get 5 pluses, it's a classic. It is what it is, man. You don't like it, turn the channel. So, this is a classic album to me, in my opinion. If you don't feel like it's a classic, I want to know why, man. Tell me why you don't think it's a classic. You may be thinking, oh, wow, Layers was better, or like, have you not heard Book of Ryan? Like, whatever it is you want to say that in the comments, man. But Royce, he did a real grown man move. He got sober, and I believe, I don't know if he said he drinks casually or not. I don't know, but I have no idea. But he got sober, and he's still elevated to an even higher level than he was before. And I'm gonna salute that man. Classic album, great work. The music is superb. I put this right up there with To Pimp a Butterfly. I put this right up there with most of the Boogie Down production stuff from back in the day, because it's conscious, it's dope, it's deep, and it's hard as, you know what I'm saying? My name is Chuck Wick Eels. I'm going to catch y'all on the flip side. Thank y'all for watching. I'm coming right back with another review because I got 2 albums that just dropped that I want to talk about. So I'm going to be right back. Peace.